Have no fear, Hippie here is here, and today we have a very special guest with us. We have Mr. DoGoodhvz himself, and you were recently featured in a pretty popular video.
I think it was a little popular.
I think it was pretty popular. I saw it on my YouTube recommendations.
True.
Now, so I figure the best way like to really start this off with is like just we'll just go straight into the video, kind of watch it. I can bring it up here on stream as well. Give me just a second and have you watch it as well. Kind of let you do your play-by-play. I think that'd be a really cool way to do it.
Yeah. Alright, so is this his video or is this my video?
This is your video.
Okay, so yeah, this was from my stream. Little backstory of why I did this build the way I did it is I like to watch Twitch streams while I'm at my day job. It's it's my day job. So one of the creators that I watch does a lot of build requests, and someone had them do a Slugging Kaneki build. And it was a different build from what I did, mostly because I forgot what build he did. But he said he had a lot of fun with it. The person that requested the build said that Slugging Kaneki was a lot of fun, so I decided, hey, it might be fun. So before I even left my day job, I knew first match of the night I was going to try Slugging Kaneki. As soon as I got home, I loaded up DBD, I loaded up OBS, and while I was on my starting student screen, I put together a build that I thought would be a fun Slugging Kaneki.
You got a little bit of a reaction from it.
I expected a little bit of salt, because I've played some builds that can get you some salt, and I always expected a little bit of salt, but, like, I could not have predicted this level of salt.
Okay, let's hop into it here.
Alright. Oh, there's another TTV here. And literally, I didn't even notice it was a TTV until we loaded in. I'm like, oh shit, let me tab out real quick. Let me do my exclamation point TTV to make sure anyone watching me,
if you want to see their POV, you're more than welcome to, but
like,
I don't
wants to watch them, they can, because,
because
I'm all about doing, like, making those connections.
He definitely did start off very friendly, I
definitely
will
don't want to go
say.
in there talking
Telling
shit.
them, all your viewers, not to hop into their chat
Go
and
in
bother
there
them.
with, positive
Oh yeah, and I've had viewers in the past go to other TTVers and be like, dude, this, like, I'm not going to tell you their perks, but this dude is vibing, and it makes me even more excited to talk to them after the game.
Yeah, I think
Alright,
probably going up
Slugging
against our
Kaneki.
TTVs is one of my favorite
not a
things in the
horrible
game.
map.
Yeah, especially when they're live, because getting both POVs of the same chase is honestly a vibe.
It really is. And I wish I knew how to edit more, because I would love to do like both perspectives more.
Yeah, I was going to edit my YouTube video a little bit more, but I realized that, like, because I was sending the footage to Spooks for him to do his video, I knew the first thing that they would say is out of context, so I wanted to make sure I had the unedited footage live on air so that anytime someone heard out of context, they could just look at my video and see, no, it's not out of context. This build, though, like, just from this little bit so far, like, this build, though, was paying off in it being fun. It just made the game one long chase. Infectious Fright going off, it just gave me my next target to continue the chase with.
Yeah. And like you already got one down here, and I think we're only maybe about a minute and a half, 2 minutes in.
Yeah, like the first down, especially with Kaneki on this map, like this map is honestly really good for Kaneki because there's lots of things for him to grab with his tentacles. It is a small map, so he can make up that ground really fast. So we also rolled a very bad map for them to try to go against this. I used the same exact build on RPD, but because of the multi-levels, they were able to very much outplay me to the point where I got lucky that they stubbed their toe a couple times. Otherwise, it would have been a 4-man out. Instead, it was a 4K where I got the first K just as the last gen finished.
Yeah. I have a third down here. Already?
Actually, I don't have the third down here. The next down is actually accidental.
Oh.
So I'm chasing Steve. I'm thinking I'm gonna whip around, and I'm gonna catch him off guard, and I bump into this Gabriel. I did not even mean to, but I'm like, I'm not gonna say no to this. They're right in front of me. I have the two standing survivors injured right in front of me.
The teabags.
And then I saw the teabags. I realized, okay, they have 3 down. They're deep wounds, and I'm chasing them. This is about to be game. They decided to do the teabags. I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
And then it's the 4-man DC.
Yeah, immediately.
Where this isn't me laughing at them. I don't like the abandon feature. Especially since I found out that, like, according to the abandon feature that, like, the doc that they posted the other day, this counted as a draw for them.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm not a big fan of the abandon feature either.
Yeah, like I understand why. Like, if I had let them all bleed out, 100% that is exactly what the abandon feature is for.
Mm-hmm.
But when you just want to get whiny and use the abandon feature because you don't want to wait to get hooked or to get moried, and you want to save yourself like 10 seconds.
Yeah, and I feel like as soon as you hit somebody, like the abandon feature should really just count that as a win. Like even if you put a bot on a hook, it should count as a win.
I mean, it counted it for a win for me, but it counted for a draw for them for some reason. And the only reason I kept them plugged for a little extra time with this is because I was running out of hooks.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, where is a hook? And because it was bots, I wanted to guarantee that I could at least get the hook. If they were still active, I probably would have just kept picking them up immediately. If one of them wiggled out, one of them wiggled out.
Yeah. And was this was during the Blood Moon event, right?
Yes, this was during Blood Moon.
Yeah, so you gotta get those extra blood points in where you can.
Yeah, I mean, we had a 500% blood point bonus, and
the bot 4%ed.
Playing both sides,
hilarious.
I could tell that, like, unless you're up against a killer like Kaneki, where you can cover the map really, really well, really quickly, it is a survivor-sided mode because those blood gens, they go off.
Oh yeah, yeah, and
you could have a 30-second chase and 2 blood gens will get done, and it's just like, how?
Some of them.
Yeah, and you cannot use like any generator perks on them.
Yeah, no gen perks work on them.
Yeah.
So, like, you're also very limited into what perks you can run to get the most value. Which is why I was testing a slug build in this mode, because I love Kaneki. I love being Spider-Ken and swinging around the map. Like, I had them all dead, and I was still swinging around because I love swinging around. I love being Spider-Man and DBD. So I want to have a bunch of different builds. So, like, I want to try a slug build. I want to try an anti-heal, anti-gen, but you know, I can't try anti-gen in Blood Moon.
Yeah, unfortunately not.
Oh, I doubt any of them stayed in.
And then they say stuff in the in-game chat,
Yeah,
don't they?
They don't say anything in the end game chat, but I do remember that it was a TTV. Like, I zoned out because also I
What
took
were
it
they
done
running?
right
An
before
Iron
stream.
Will Resurgence, Urban Evasion,
Understandable.
Scene Partner, Windows. Damn, Steve came to just me.
I can hardly see their perks.
Resilience, Troubleshooter, Alert, Light. Okay.
Yeah, and then the part that got them reeling was me laughing at DS.
Like,
Oh,
And
yeah.
it's just, I love when, like, either I or someone else runs a perk that gets no
DS
use.
when
Like,
the
I've
killer
run
sucks.
Lightborn before and not gotten blinded. Like, anyone to even attempt blinding, even though I saw 3 flashlights in the lobby.
I love when karma shit like that.
2
happens.
days after this, I ended up running Pebble. I'm like, oh, I want to try Diversion. Let's try that out. Scratch me or Myers.
Yeah.
Like, literally, I couldn't use the perk, so I laughed about it. Like, that's the kind of thing I was laughing at, and they decided to put the words in my mouth that DS is a bitch perk.
Yeah, I think overall that it's just a pretty crazy match. At first I was thinking, when I watched like the SpooknJukes video, I was thinking, okay, maybe you should have kind of slowed down, because I've been in like those types of matches where I do like completely dominate, and I tend to slow down. But as I went back and watched for your video, like I quickly realized that that was a blink of a match. Like, if you even went on autopilot for a minute, they all dead.
Yeah.
I've had that happen a few games where I'm just in autopilot mode and they all die instantly.
Yeah, I locked in for reasons I didn't need to. I just locked in and I just went. And like there have been matches where I had a Pinhead match where I slowed down because I ran endgame Pinhead thinking I've played Pinhead 3 times. I'm gonna hit endgame. And I had 2 people dead, 3 gens left, and I'm like, oh shit. But when I slow down too much, like it's either I slow down enough for them to reach endgame, and the match then becomes boring for me because I literally have to miss my shot. Like I have to try to miss my shots, or just be AFK in a corner for 30 seconds.
Yeah. So was that like your first time doing like a slug build?
Normally I've only ever run slug build on Myers. I do speed build Myers, and I play tag, but I also go out of my way to make sure everyone lives in that. Because honestly, speedy infinite tier 3 Myers is way overpowered. And like literally, I will go out of my way if I see someone's about to like die, I will pick them up and just spin in circles until they wiggle out and be like, okay, I'm not touching you anymore, but if you run into me, that's your fault.
Yeah. I'm not sure if I told you, but like I used to do slug builds all the time. When I first started like playing DBD, I would do like nothing but slug builds because I really enjoy the chase. I was also a type of killer, like I would directly face camp if that would generate me more pressure. I would tunnel, I would do every like nasty tactic, as the survivors would say in the book. And yeah, I hadn't done really on Kaneki too much, but I can definitely see he has a whole lot of potential for it. He's a very strong killer.
Yeah, he is very strong even after the nerf. He's a little more balanced, but especially if you want to try to go for like a slug build, he's very powerful for that because his tentacles can get you to that next chase faster. Like if you notice that the Kaneki is slugging, the counter to that is keeping your distance and like only going in when the person you're picking up is like 99'd on the heel.
Yeah, and like I would say right now I would consider him like a top 5 killer even after the nerfs.
Oh yeah, especially if you have good game sense because his power is definitely really good for that first hit and it's really good at like keeping up and chase. But it does take skill and timing to get like the text of like swinging in front of a survivor and stopping to smack them. That does still take a decent amount of skill, especially if you're on like a map that's not good for Kaneki, like Leary's, because every corner has like the little extra divot. You can't really swing around corners as smoothly as if it was just like a flat corner.
Yeah, and like just indoor maps in general, I would say he's probably not the best at. I feel like
he's actually really good in Gideon's.
Really?
Gideon's as long as you know where your stairs are, Gideon's, because it has enough open space for him to swing.
True.
But everywhere's a wall. Like, I don't think there's a single pixel that you could stand at where you can't at least grab something with your tentacles to swing yourself. Yeah. Which I think is why it's an amazing map for him, where as long as you know where your stairs are to get back upstairs, you could swing and really get a lot done.
Yeah, I could definitely see that on Gideon's. Oh, I forgot. Like, what perks did you run for that?
So that was.
It was. Let me see if I can bring it up. Looks like Deerstalker, Infectious Fright, Thana, and then there was the 4th perk.
Lethal Pursuer. So Lethal Pursuer to find your first target, because especially in events like Blood Moon where gens can pop like in an instant, you want to get that first chase done as like quickly as possible. Thanatophobia for a little bit of gen regress, because in Blood Moon you still have to do 1 gen, and Kaneki's really good at keeping everyone injured. Infectious Fright, because, you know, once you down someone, you get the alert, you can go into the next chase. And Deerstalker, technically, you don't really need Deerstalker, because, if you're slugging and you don't care if they bleed out, then Deerstalker is kind of a waste of a perk, because, yeah, it gives you a little bit of position, but, like, you're not gonna be able to react enough unless you're staring at their aura when they get picked up to know to go there.
Yeah.
But I run that because I'm not gonna run a slug build without it, because I'm not gonna try to bleed people out. I want to be able to, once I get my people downed, to be able to go pick them up and hook them, because I've accidentally bled out a couple people because I lost track of their body. Not even because I was running a slug build, but because I had two survivors in front of me. I downed one, and the other one took me on one hell of a chase. And by the time I got back to the original position where I downed them, they crawled off into somewhere. And I'm searching the whole map while trying to also find Hatch, and it's just like, I can't find them.
Yeah.
And I felt really bad that they ended up bleeding out because of that.
I do like it. I think the Thano and the Infectious Fright is a really good like perk combination, especially on Kaneki, because he does have that larger terror radius, so that helps out a lot. I think the only thing I would really change to it is maybe using Force Hesitation on him.
I was thinking of that.
It's a good combo in the fact that like it slows down survivors, and Kaneki already has great movement speed.
Yeah.
Also, I'm a personal fan of like Surge too.
Oh yeah, like I did like Thano was my gen regress perk because like I knew that I wasn't gonna be able to keep on top of the regular gens. I needed something just to slow them down and keep them occupied, which Thana was, I think, the only perk I didn't get value out of in that match, because they decided as soon as they saw me slugging that they would just kind of rush each other and me instead of, you know, even having just one person working gens that time.
Yeah, and it really seemed like they kind of immediately threw it too. Like they all started to group up on you.
Yeah, like the fact that I accidentally ran into the Gabriel while the other two weren't even able to be gotten up. Like, the Steve had me in at least a long enough chase where the Gabriel could have gotten at least one of them up. But instead, I accidentally bump into him while he's fully healthy, and I'm swinging. I just end up getting a free power hit.
Yeah. Overall, like, it looked like a very solid match. I was very impressed by it. I feel like there was another question. If you feel like there should be anything changed to the Ghoul, what do you think it would be?
So, Ghoul is overpowered in one aspect still. And that's the cooldown between canceling your Kagune leap and being able to M1. Because once you get that skill of being able to get that timing, you can very reliably use your power to hit them. And then once you get your power back, swing in front of them before they even have a chance to mend, cancel your power, and before they could get to a pallet, a window, a wall, and anything, you can down them if you get that timing right. It's not easy to hit that timing, but once you hit that timing, it almost becomes a guarantee, where if they even slow that cooldown by half a second, that gives a survivor 2 or 3 steps to then vault that window, drop that pallet, go around that corner so the M1's not entirely possible.
And I actually completely agree with that. I feel like the cooldown canceling your power needs just a slight little nerf, because I feel like overall the other nerfs to the Ghoul has kind of made him a lot more healthy killer to play up against. I still feel like he does have like a low skill floor for what he offers, even though I do think he still has a very high skill ceiling for everything he offers.
Yeah. As far as getting that first hit and chase, like, that's guaranteed for a lot of killers. Like, I have a TikTok where I literally gave a Wesker a first hit and chase because I lost track of where he was. He kicked the gen I was on. I'm looking around. I didn't realize he ended up behind me. He smacked me, and then chase started. But with Kaneki, even if you're fully aware, unless you have like an environmental advantage where you have a tall wall or something to hide behind, you're gonna get that first hit.
Yeah.
And then after that, even if you escape, you have to mend.
And how do you feel about him being DBD's free first like hit scan killer other than the singularity?
I like it because Singularity confuses the fuck out of me whether I'm playing as him or against him. So having a hit scan killer that I not only can understand how to play, but also how to counter. Because after you get that like free first hit as Kaneki, it comes down to game sense. He becomes an M1 killer. If you think that the Kaneki can make those swings, you got to make tight loops. If he can't make those swings, that's when you gotta like take advantage of like a pre-drop on a pallet or even a pallet stun or them breaking a pallet and get that distance to go to the next loop. Like there's no guaranteed counter until you see how they play.
That's very true. I know like a lot of survivors, they really do hate that Kaneki is a hit scan killer because they don't really understand like the differences in between like a hit scan and projectile killer a lot of the times.
Oh yeah, and I'm coming off being a Huntress main, so like hit scan it definitely feels a lot easier as far as like making those shots. But again, that hit scan is for deep wounding them. No matter how many times you hit them with that, you will never be able to down them. So if you're not able to, like, if you can only hit them with the ability, you can't swing properly, like, in front of them or behind them or anything, you're an M1 killer now.
Yeah. I am thankful he does have a little bit of, even after he gets the first hit, he does have a little bit of anti-loop with the swings, but it does take, like, more practice to get used to swinging in front of him.
Oh yeah, and if you find a long tile, like his swings, unless he's on point, like literally hits the exact right location for his swing, you're gonna be able to keep some distance. It's not like where Legion can easily catch up to you or Blight has the speed and like direction. Kaneki is more of like you swing.
Yeah, it's honestly a really fun power. I think it's probably, I want to say it's one of the funnest powers that's came out in DBD in quite a while, especially since not only is it fun to do, it's also very, very strong, and it has a high skill ceiling as well. And a low
you
skill
can do
floor.
a lot of cool things. Low skill floor is good for learning the basics, but like there's definitely like a jump between like a good Kaneki and a great one. Because a good Kaneki is just, you know their powers, you can reliably, you know, get that M1 hit, the power hit to get them into deep wounds, you can keep up a decent frenzy, and you can get something working where you have a decent win rate. But great is when you hit like those swing techs, when you can swing around the entire killer shack to get them out a door, like there's a lot of tricks that take a lot of skill. But to be just a general Kaneki that could have a decent win rate doesn't take too much.
Yeah. And how long have you, let's talk a little bit more about yourself. How long have you been streaming?
So technically I started in 2013, but that was from a Kingdom Hearts channel.
A Kingdom Hearts channel?
Yep. There is footage of me beardless playing Kingdom Hearts 2 somewhere on YouTube.
Really? Huh.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't know anybody like he would stream like Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, but that's how I started, but like that was a channel that I shared with other people, and then I didn't stream for myself until like 2021, 2022. I didn't start really taking it super seriously until about like last year when I like made my very first like custom overlay.
Okay, that's pretty cool. I think I probably started streaming about 2 or 3 years ago myself, and the main reason I kind of started streaming was because I was trying to really improve myself at Dead by Daylight, so I would go back and I would record all the matches, and I would kind of go back and look at where I made my mistakes and try to figure out how I could improve for my next couple matches.
Oh yeah, I could see that, because when I first started my own personal channel, it was for Dungeons and Dragons. It wasn't to grow an audience, it was because I didn't want to take notes. Like literally, I was the DM, and I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna stream this because one, it's really cool if someone can't make it to the session, they could still see the session and type in chat being like, wait, I want my character to do this. and like they still have a little bit of agency.
Mhm.
And two, when I'm planning shit out, I could just pull up the VOD, and that's my notes.
That is very handy.
And that's how I hit affiliate, because everyone from the D&D group was watching stream as it was happening, especially when people were absent, to just see if the absentee member typed in chat if like anything for their character. So I hit affiliate accidentally. But after that, when I started streaming to stream, I became variety. My primary game was a little more Call of Duty, but I did Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons, Sea of Thieves. Like I did a whole variety. I still do, but Dead by Daylight has become a bit of a hyperfixation once I started playing it.
Same. I would say Dead by Daylight's probably like the game I play the most. Obviously, I've been playing it ever since like Armrio came out, and I'm absolutely obsessed with it. I think I probably purchased at least a good $700 worth of merchandise.
Damn.
And content.
Yeah, but like it was a big transition becoming primarily Call of Duty to being primarily Dead by Daylight. Not as much as like the stream aspect, but the gameplay aspect. And that's why I sent the footage to Spooks. Because when I started out, like Call of Duty is a very skill-heavy game. It's a very competitive game. Like
It's very technical.
it is, and like especially with like campers in Call of Duty, like everyone gets pissed at the campers because especially when you play hardcore, you can literally camp in the corner of a map with a pistol and snipe someone across the map. I know that because I did that because I thought it was hilarious because I turned a pistol into a sniper and I would out-snipe the people that were camping in corners with actual sniper rifles.
That makes a lot of sense.
But in hardcore, it's so much easier to just sit and just wait for someone to come across and then shoot them before they get even a chance to see you, because there's also perks and equipment that you can run to protect yourself in the corner. So it's very much like that little bitch kind of strategy. So I took that attitude into Dead by Daylight when I started, and like I became competitive with it. I got salty. Like
I understand that. Like I was very salty starting off.
So between a couple of my friends being like, "Yo, do good," like you're getting a little too salty with this stuff, and watching Spook's videos, I kind of was able to learn from that and be like, okay, I need to take a step back. I need to cool off. I need to get back into games are fun.
Same. Like that's kind of way like how I was. Like I was very, very hyper competitive. Like to an extreme degree. I love trying to get into community tournaments. I love watching killers go all out every single match up against every single person. I was at the point where I was literally trying to speed run through trials and kill everybody as fast as I possibly could. But eventually I did kind of get myself a girlfriend, and talking to her and seeing how she reacted to some of the lesser nice killers, that kind of made me realize, yeah, I probably need to slow down a little bit myself.
Yeah, so when I saw this, I knew I wanted to make a video because the line "I'm not toxic, but fuck you" was hilarious. That line alone was enough for me to be like, I need to at least make this a TikTok.
Oh yeah,
but
it is funny.
But my experience with this streamer was in the match. Afterwards, one of their friends came into my chat saying, "You shouldn't be talking about not being toxic and then be toxic," which got me confused because I thought at first maybe they were lurking in my chat and heard me go, "Oh my god, the teabags." Which I wanted to clarify, which I did live on stream. Like, oh, if you're talking about me mentioning the teabags, I thought those were funny. Like, maybe me saying that, like, you shouldn't be teabagging, because, like, teabagging in a match is, like...
Yeah.
It also depends on the context. I slugged 3 of them. One of them was teabagging me. I kind of expected it. I expected that level of salt, so it's like, okay, it's a little funny.
Yeah.
They're showing a little personality. I went into their chat. They were still talking about me, even though I had literally made my next Kaneki build to test out, and remembered, oh shit, they're a streamer. I wanted to give them a GG's. I wanted to give them a lurk in chat. So I pulled up my browser, started to lurk them in chat, heard them still talking about me a few minutes later. I'm like, oh well,
Yeah, they
I think I'm
talked
living
about
in their
you a
heads
while.
rent free right now. For 1 2.5 minute match, but I'm still gonna say my GGs. And as I said, my GGs, my next match was starting, so I muted their tab, I minimized them, and I did my match. When I got out of the match, I'm like, oh, let's check in on them. See, you know, because I've gone into people's chats and they've been salty with me. People come to my chat, I've been a little salty with them, but normally, because we're adults, we talk it out. And sometimes, you know, that gets us each a new follower, a new person to play DBD with.
Same.
When I tab back in, I saw you are banned from chat.
Yeah, and honestly, like some of my best friends I've made in like the DB community are people like we had terrible matches up against each other where we were talking shit the entire time, but we kind of bonded with the shit talking afterwards.
Oh yeah, that's why I also have a safe word system in my stream, because a lot of my friends, especially like one of my friends, we 1v1 in Call of Duty a lot. We shit talk the entire fucking time. But I wanted to put a safe word in place, which actually was inspired by seeing one of SpooknJukes videos. They were like there was one survivor group that was just absolutely berating someone. I'm like, okay, I see some of this is shit talk, and I see some of this is not. So like, and some of it was to each other. So I'm like, okay, what if we did like a safe word where like we could talk shit to each other, but if someone says the safe word, we stop. Like we just change topics.
That's
we
interesting.
stop it. That way, like we're not accidentally crossing any boundaries. And if we do, and someone says the safe word, we can backtrack.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So, I started doing that. And after I saw that I was banned, I'm like, okay, I'm going to keep a mental note. And I want to see if they said anything when they banned me, because I wanted to see if they like what they said directly to me when they banned me, in case it's something that like it could have been a misunderstanding or something. So after stream, I looked up their channel. I had to actually go back in my own VOD to find their name because I forgot. Every time someone is asking for this person's name, I've had to look in my VOD and be like, oh, that's their name.
Yeah, especially like with the spelling stuff. Like,
yeah, so
I miss
when I went in,
time.
it was just after stream. I went into their VOD, and I'm laughing my ass off. They're going off about DS. I'm like, when did I say DS was a bitch perk? I'm like, I just was laughing at the karma of you ran DS and the killer decided not to tunnel, because, like, literally, I'll go 3 matches in a row where the killer will tunnel me out, whether it's because I have TTV in the name, because it just makes good sense and strategy, because, like, we're 3 gens down, I've been the only one hooked, so it makes sense to tunnel me to pressure. And I'm like, you know what? I've been having a little bit of bad luck. I've been getting tunneled. Let me run DS. And the second I run DS, the killers avoid me like the plague. And I just think that's funny. So, like, they went off about that. When I was talking about slugging Kaneki, like, at first they said Kaneki's not a slugging killer, which shame on both of us, because they first said Pyramid Head's a slugging killer. And afterwards, I remember.
What?
But what about Twins?
Yeah.
Why is Twins not getting the love?
Twins
and I didn't realize that in the moment. Otherwise,
killer.
in my video when I was commenting, I would have said that. So shame on me for not remembering Twins, because I've had so much fun playing Twins before.
Yeah. And I honestly don't feel like
and
I've
honestly,
ever heard
a slugging killer is a killer you decide to slug with.
Yeah.
And Kaneki, like, it also just amazed me their contradictions, because they said Kaneki's not a slugging killer, Pyramid Head is. And then 2 seconds later, you slugged us out because you were exploiting your power. And I'm like, so if he's not meant to be slugging, but slugging is exploiting his power, which is it? Is he overpowered as a slugging killer because he's a slugging killer, kind of like how you can really get on a good roll with slugging people with Victor with Twins?
Yeah.
Or is he not meant to be slugging, where me attempting to slug is actually putting myself at a disadvantage? Like, which is it? It can't be both.
I will say, generally, I feel like the top 5 killers are like some of the best slugging killers in the game. Although, a lot of times they don't play like in a slugging play style. Like, any killer
it also depends.
has like high mobility. I feel like makes a great slugging killer.
High mobility, or instant downs.
Yeah. No,
Because Mikey can definitely be a really good slugging killer with Infinite Tier 3.
can.
Bubba can be a really good slugging killer if you run his Eries. Like, I've gotten a 4-man slug off one gen because it went off with Tinker. They didn't realize I was around the corner, and I ran the Eerie that replenishes when you hit, and I just was able to get them all.
Yeah. And honestly, I feel like probably one of my favorite slugging killers is not only do I like Ghostface as a slugging killer because he has his surveillance Eerie add-on that allows him to see people's aura. I also really like Freddy as a slugging killer.
I've never gone against a slugging Freddy or Ghostface, but the friend that did slugging Kaneki on their stream that made me think that it would be fun to slugging Kaneki on mine. They've run slugging Ghostface a couple times back when old knockout was a thing.
Oh yeah. I honestly kind of miss old knockout to a degree. It's
Honestly,
unhealthy,
like
but I
slugging
do miss
killer
it all.
is fine once in a while. Like if you run into slugging killers every match all night, I understand getting like salty about it. I understand like there's only so much tummy time you can take.
Yeah.
But like once in a while, like I don't mind it because it is a change of pace from like getting tunneled or getting face camped or it's just a change of pace. It's something different.
And it also kind of gives survivors more of a reason to run perks like Unbreakable, Exponential, and all those self-pickup perks.
Oh yeah.
Um,
The only slugging I personally won't do unless I feel it's absolutely necessary, like going for the Adept, is slugging for the 4K, which in my definition that means like you're in Killer Shack, I'm across the map, you get downed, and the killer spends your entire bleed out time trying to find me. Like that gives me a bit of an ick because like you're purposefully avoiding hatch. Like I've started labeling those kinds of killers as hatch phobic. Because like a 3K is a win. I understand if you're going for Adept, like I'll start to feel the ick, and as soon as I see the Adept perks, I'm like, you know what? You got Adept. You wanted that guarantee of the 4K because this is the closest you've probably gotten. But like a 3K is a win. Why do you need the 4K that badly if you're willing to search the entire map while someone bleeds out on the floor?
And sometimes I will admit I do that. It mainly the factor that goes into it for me is like how the survivors are responding throughout the match. Are they teabagging a lot? Are they hiding a lot?
If they're like stunning you and then teabagging after every pallet and they're like goading you on, like 100% they kind of deserve that.
Yeah,
But like
and it's
if
kind of
I'm just
important
playing
to
a chill
send a
match and I'm
message every
across
now
map,
and then.
like I was playing with one of my viewers, we were in a duo and we were on Yamoka. They were slugged literally by main and I was on the opposite side of the map, and Yamoka's a big map. They started searching for me to the point where I was able to actually sneak around, pick them up. They started chase with me. I got injured. I don't know what came over me, but I hopped in a locker. I think I wanted to force them to pick me up, thinking that like they'd get so involved in the chase that as soon as they picked me up, they wouldn't think they just put me on a hook, because I've done that before. Like, if I wanted to keep someone downed, I'm like, oh shit, I meant to down them because I know there's two people literally right next to me. And like, maybe he just would keep going in that. He stared at the locker, came into my chat, told me to leave the locker, and I think it was because he thought that I was gonna get some kind of like flashbang save for my friend or something like that, which they were running a medkit, they couldn't.
Yeah.
But they literally asked me to come out of the locker. My friend came around, took a little bit of a chase so I could come out of the locker. I took aggro again. I got downed. They went searching for my friend. They finally found my friend, started hooking them, and then hatch spawned like a tile away from me. And I'm like, you know what? This is karma on them. But like, most of the time, it's just I'm trying to sneak my way around. I'm trying not to get detected, and then they find me and just like, well, I wanted to wait for hatch, but like 4 minutes of the killer not detecting you without getting crows is kind of hard.
Yeah. It really is a hard thing to do, I would say. I have tried to go around the map, but getting undetected, but it It also kind of depends on mount. Like in indoor mounts, you can kind of do it. You can kind of like just tap a gem real
Yeah.
quick. Apparently some people say just dropping an item and picking it back up causes it
Yeah.
not to
And then
trigger
if the
throws.
killer's running Reva to him, you're shit out of luck.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
You can climb in and out of lockers, but if the killer is running Iron Maiden for any reason, like,
Yeah, okay. So I was watching a video by Fate Bayonet. I'm not sure if you're familiar with them.
not super familiar.
Basically he kind of does like discussion type videos about DBD, which is kind of what I'm trying to do right now. And he was talking to a Blight player, and the Blight player, he really kind of surprised me because the Blight was running Iron Maiden, and the reason why the Blight was running Iron Maiden was because everybody suspects you have aura reading perks on Blight, so a lot of people hop into lockers, and then Iron Maiden triggers as soon as they get out. It's a very unique strategy.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like I put all of Huntress's perks on my Bubba hooks, and I am waiting for the day that someone asks me, "Why do you have the Huntress perks on your hooks?"
Oh,
Huntress was the first P9 that I got, so I'm like, I have her perks as charms on hooks. So I just put them on Bubba one day just for shits and giggles, and I've been waiting for someone to be like, "But why those perks on the hook?"
that is a good way how to
Why
mess
those
with
charms?
survivors. How many like prestige characters do you have?
So all my killers are at least P3, and all my current unlocked survivors are P3. I'm missing 5 of them that I'm still unlocking.
Understandable. I have all my killers at like P7, and then all my survivors at P6. The Blood Moon event helped me out a lot.
Oh yeah, Blood Moon event. I was earning blood points faster than Eerie shards.
Yeah, I think I ended up I probably got at least a good 30 prestiges that event. It was insane.
Yeah, I got a decent amount in that event. I don't know why I hyper focused on getting the raccoon dog stat. Because I use a site called deadbystats.eu to track different stats in the game, like how my percentage of survivor versus killer play time, different achievements, and one stat
I know what you're talking
they
about.
track is interacted with raccoon dog.
Oh yeah, that is a stat.
So I've been grinding that up. When I first found it, I was at 5, and this was like a week and a half ago. I'm currently at 33.
Have you actually been able to get on the website lately? Because I was trying to get on DBD stats, and I couldn't do it.
I'm on Dead by Stats right now.
Yeah, are you able to like look up your profile and stuff?
Yep, I was able to log in with Steam and look at my stats.
Okay, I wonder what's going on with mine, because at one point I looked up my stats, and probably my most interesting stat I had was I was in the top 100 for most Armryokidiums. Along with like a few other stats, I was in like the top 10% on like 6 or 7 other killers. No, but for some reason, every time I enter in my Steam ID, it's not taking it for some reason.
Weird.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it had to do with the fact that so behavior, they're very, very sensitive with like their MMR stuff, and
I don't think it shows your MMR though.
yeah, it doesn't. So a content creator named Choi, he ended up making a video talking about how to get your MMR from behavior, because there was some different law changes.
I think I saw that video. Like I didn't actually follow it because I honestly don't care about knowing my exact MMR.
Yeah. See, I really do, because I feel like there should be some type of comp mode in DBD to separate the the more casual players with the more competitive players. So I immediately watched it. I requested my MMR from Behavior, and then Behavior reworded like their whole policy to make it some type of business trade secret. So now you can no longer actually receive your MMR from Behavior.
And they probably got just like a huge influx of requests.
Yeah, they got a massive
wanted to use
influx of requests, and I think it's on like the Net's Health and Horror update. There is supposed to be a MMR update as well. So I'm hoping that will help out some and allow people to actually see their MMR.
Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of events do turn off MMR though.
Yeah.
Like, I've been in matches where I'm up against people definitely well above my MMR, and also people that are definitely well below my MMR. And Swifts also kind of make it hard to determine MMR, because, like, that match I was in, one of their people, the person that ran Decisive, was new. Like, I think they said under 100 hours in the game, because when they came into my chat claiming out of context, I asked them for the context, because I didn't hear or see anything that was relevant to the SpooknJukes video.
Yeah. And I feel
that
like
was
even
part of it, like, the context that was missing was 6 more times them calling me cringe, because someone actually did a count between the 2 videos. Which, if anyone did the SpooknJukes drinking game, like go see a doctor. So their exact answer when I asked what was the exact missing context was the guy who ran DS is a new player that had just unlocked it and didn't even really know how to use it, and the comment you made about it irritated me because it's things like that that make people stop playing the game. Admittedly, we both let our emotions get the better of us, and things were said out of order, but it didn't need to be taken as far as it has, meaning it didn't need to become a SpooknJukes video.
I mean, I feel like it, like, as soon as you post something on like a social media platform, like, it's out there.
Yeah, anything that you do live on stream is free use. So like, we don't need to censor names, we don't need to censor anything, as long as we don't take it out of context to the point of defamation.
Yeah.
Like,
I 100% agree.
Yeah, like, if I had to if I like edited to make it look like they were trying to be like really like racist or homophobic, or like saying slurs, like if I was putting like those kinds of words in their mouth, absolutely that's defamation. But like cutting out like 6 times of saying cringe and a couple of other insults that, like, honestly putting it more into context makes you look worse.
Yeah.
Like it's free use. Like, they were yelling at me for using the line, "I'm not toxic, but fuck you," as my follower alert.
Yeah. And it could have been also a lot worse too, because there are other content creators who actually go out and just do pure salt content where they try to make the other side look as bad as humanly possible. And,
oh yeah, like, I'm not trying to farm salt, but like, I'm also not gonna be stupid and be like, hey, this is hilarious content.
Yeah.
Like, we have the cringe counter, we have Pyramid Head being a slugging killer, Kaneki not being a slugging killer, but also exploiting if he is. Like, contradictions up the wazoo, challenging me to come into their chat, and then waiting till I got banned from their chat to curse me out fully, where if I was actually in chat, like, I couldn't respond. Like, if you're gonna call someone out like that, being like, I bet you won't say that in my chat, and then you instantly ban them so that they can't respond, and then start cursing them out extra, like, that's a contradiction in itself. Like, you're hiding behind the ban button right now.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a whole bunch of contradictions, and like, that the other person that kind of got involved, like a third party, kind of was adding fuel to the fire, because I looked at their comments. They're more of an anti-SpooknJukes person, so they saw an opportunity to kind of weasel their way in, because they claimed I spoke to both sides, which, speaking to their side, was a VC like this, going over some of the stuff, not really showing much of the footage. And speaking to my side was coming into my chat saying that I'm a hypocrite for wanting Spooks to make the video, but also using the audio "I'm not toxic but fuck you" as my follower alert, and that I'm indirectly harassing them by having those videos up. Because other people that I don't even know them are going and harassing them, which I will say, and I've said this several times, including when they were in my chat, they don't deserve the harassment. They don't deserve the death threat. Like, all they deserved was a mirror held up, and that's what me and Spooks did. And if they show proof of any person, I don't care who it is, I don't care what the name is, if they show proof that they're getting harassed by someone that has shown up in my chat, I will hit that ban button so fast. They decided to just double down on trying to come after me and make themselves the victim. They said that even though in my video I said my DMs are open, that my DMs weren't, but how easy was it for you to contact me?
It is very easy for me to contact you. I
also have a DM from someone.
Yeah, like I
The day the video dropped 4/22/2025, 3:06 p.m. and 41 seconds. Hey, came from SpooknJukes. So they were able to DM me. Why couldn't they? I had to actually show my settings to show that they could DM me. Because they kept trying to double down. And I do admit, I kind of crashed out when they kept trying to double down and triple down and quadruple down that they couldn't DM me. Because, like, it's one thing to, like, I'm not going to get mad, like, super if they treated me poorly in a video game. Like, if they found me in the fog and they slugged me out and bled me out, like...
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't get mad about that, but they're trying to literally defame me by saying, like, DoGoodhvz trying to do this just for clout. He's not... His DMs aren't open. We can't talk this out. I've already apologized, which I kept hearing that they apologized, but, like, to me, that's just to save face, because if you want to apologize, you apologize to someone who was wrong, which I never expected the apology. But them claiming they apologized, let's move on, but I didn't hear it. I had to hear that they just apologized without even seeing, like, the original post video or whatever that they apologized. It's just like, you're trying to save face. You're saying that you're taking accountability. You're saying you apologize, but what have you actually done to apologize, to make amends? Because honestly, like, the obvious first move when that happens, especially if someone is actively saying my DMs are open if you want to talk about it, is DM them with an apology.
Yeah,
but I've
the
checked every social media: TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, my Discord, Twitch whispers. Not a single DM from any of them. And they just kept doubling down on the lies, where she even said in my chat that I achieved my goal. She quit everything. She quit being a mod for that person. She quit playing the game. She quit everything. I got a little curious, and granted that this is on me for checking, but I checked. She not only was active in his chat, she was an active mod in his chat, and still playing later that same night. So it's like, I understand if someone gets harassed to that point, but to lie about it and then 2 hours later be able to be fact-checked wrong, it's just like, you are now trying to play the victim when you were the one who offended. They also claimed that I said that I would take down the sound. What happened was the third party came into my chat, pointed out the hypocrisy. I honestly didn't think of that point of view, and I even said that. I admitted that. I'm like, you know what? I didn't think of that point of view. One of my friends said it would be funny. I thought it would be. I still think it is. But hearing your point of view, I will think about it, and maybe I'll revert it back to that, or change it to something, because I've had the goat stream as my follower alert since I started streaming.
Yeah.
So I said I would think about it. I'm like, I will take it into consideration, and after I think about it, I might change it, but I might not. And they said that I said it on stream multiple times that I would take it down, but I didn't, which, granted, the truth is I didn't, because I still find it funny, but the way that they're treating this, calling out of context when it's not out of context, they took down their VODs as soon as they said out of context, and they haven't uploaded a single VOD since. Like, if you're out of context, the best thing to do is provide the context that's missing with the proof. But if you're going to say, you're taking me out of context, by the way, you can't see my VODs anymore to get the context, you're just going to have to take my word that this is what it is. That's a little sus. Like, I came from a very manipulative Italian family. Like, that's manipulation. That's gaslighting. That's you're trying to portray yourself as the victim because you fucked up, and you think if you get people feeling sorry for yourself, they'll take it easy on you, or they'll side with you, or they'll say, you know what, they might have fucked up initially, but two wrongs don't make a right. Eye for an eye leaves the whole world blind. What you're doing is worse, so it kind of justifies what they initially did. Like, all that stuff.
Yeah, well, you gotta set like boundaries, and also I feel like it's honestly like kind of a great learning lesson.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, like if they were honest, like with the amount that they lied about, I'm finding it hard to believe that they're actually getting harassed, especially since I've asked for proof so I could ban those people. Regardless of what happens with me and those creators moving forward, I've asked for the proof so I could ban those people, because should something like this happen again, I don't want those people in my space to find more people to harass. They haven't come up with a single piece of evidence, even though they've said that they have the evidence. They also tried to claim that me having the audio was illegal.
No.
They said it's illegal, and I said no, it's not. They said I know my rights.
It's fair use. Reaction videos are a thing.
Reaction videos are fair use, and as long as and sound clips are also a thing. Where do you think 90% of blurps come from?
Yeah,
sound bites. Like it's literally legal, and like I wasn't going for the cloud chase, but I was handed lemons. I'm gonna make some fucking lemonade.
Yeah, I mean they did hand you a gold mine.
Yeah.
How much has like your subscriber count and your community grown as a result of it?
So I've gained a few viewers, but that's mostly because they initially checked me out, and then they liked how I played, they liked playing with me, and they stuck around for that. My follower count has definitely shot up a lot. My subscriber count has not. So, like, if I wanted the cloud chase, I would have reached out to every partner I know, because I've been getting to know every partner on like I've had DMs with them level.
Yeah.
I could have reached out to a lot of them to cover this, because they've covered other Salt content before, but I'm like, no, SpooknJukes is the one I wanted to reach out to, only because his content is what made me realize the error of my ways and get me to change. And the way he frames things and the way he talks about things, like if someone sees this, like the video that I sent to him, and says, you know what, I do the same thing, I don't like seeing it on them, so I want to change that in myself, then I count that as a victory. Even if I lose every single follower I gain from that video, that's the victory I want to take away.
Makes sense. I definitely feel like he is probably one of the better ones to send like a clip like that in, because I would say he is probably one of the most level-headed people I've seen in the...
Yeah, he's very level-headed. He's not afraid to say when like the quote-unquote victim fucks up.
Yeah.
Like he's not afraid to say like, yes, this person was the victim in the scenario, but they're not innocent in the scenario. And he not only just says this is bad, he says this is bad and this is why it's bad.
Yeah, and I feel like also making sure you have the why it's bad is very important, because a lot of people struggle from getting to point A to point B. And
yeah, if you can't put two and two together yourself as to why something's bad, and you're just told it's bad, and every time you ask why, they just tell you it's bad, like that's not going to make you want to change your ways. It's going to make you want to double down, because you're being asked to change something that you don't see anything wrong with, and you're not being told why there's something wrong with it.
Yeah, and I feel like the main reason like their type of behavior was bad was just like, I can understand like being upset after a match for like a few minutes, maybe like 5-10 minutes. Literally, they were upset more about the match longer than they actually played the match.
Yeah, I did the full count. It was a 2.5-minute match for them, and they had 12 minutes of Salt. So this is one thing I actually disagree with SpooknJukes about, is he thinks that once you hit the endgame chat, all your negative feelings in the match, like they should go away. But in reality, video games for a lot of us is an escape from reality, and when that gets ruined, it kind of hits us a little bit harder than we were expecting.
Yeah.
So I completely understand, especially if you're having a miserable match or a miserable 3 matches in a row, and you're starting to get tilted. I understand if those feelings, get like take a few minutes to go away, and you need to, you know, say like fuck in chat and like, you know, get it out. Take a couple minutes, take a beat, take a breath. And you're allowed to have those feelings linger. Like, you can't just snap your fingers and have those feelings go away. But the thing that I do agree with Spooks is once you hit that end game chat, you are in control of your actions. And
that is true.
you could feel as salty as you want. You could feel saltier than McDonald's fries. But you still are in control of your actions. And if you let those feelings overtake those actions and you lose control, that's on you. And if you find that that's happening more often than not in PvP games, switch to PvE games or single-player story games when you're having a bad day.
Yeah.
Because when you're in a PvP game, you can't control other people's actions, but you can control your reaction.
Yeah. And sometimes it's just best to take a break, too.
Yeah, there have been times
any
where,
way
like,
you can.
like, I kept playing a little bit into that stream, but, like, I kept feeling like that lingering feelings of like they're trying to gaslight me, they're trying to gaslight multiple people, they're trying to lie about me. Like that was still weighing on my mind throughout the rest of the stream. So I ended up ending early because I'm like, you know what? I'm having fun, but my mind isn't in this, and I don't want a bad match to cause me to like go completely off tilt and go like revert back into that person that I don't want to be anymore and start yelling at people, especially for things that aren't their own fault, because I'm taking my anger out on them for something that happened earlier. So I recognize, okay, I'm on tilt. I know it's not the game. I've been having fun in my matches because I think I did a Scratch Me or Meyer match after, and it was super silly and super funny. But like, I still couldn't shake the feeling. I'm like, you know what? I need to call it. I know I usually stream later on Saturdays because it's Saturdays, but I need to pause. I need to lay down. I need to get off the internet for a second. And all I did between ending stream and laying down was I just double checked that creator stream to see if that person was telling the truth about not being a mod. Took a screenshot of the chat and their message to send to a friend because he was asking me for updates on the drama as far as like being a concerned friend and just wanted to know what was going on because they couldn't be in my chat all the time, and like you know, they had their own life. They have 2 kids. So I sent them the screenshot. I'm like, yep, like this is how my night's been. They're coming in saying lies like this, and they're very easily fact checked, and it's just, and people are doubling down on it. Like I ended up banning the third party from my chat because I realized that them coming to chat was to troll. They weren't coming in to try to get any kind of perspective. They were coming in to try and get a reaction from me. And after noticing how they were in like the comments for multiple SpooknJukes videos, because I recognized the name and then I realized why I recognized it. Because they comment on a lot of SpooknJukes videos trying to diminish what Spooks is trying to do, calling it clout chasing, calling it rage bait content, saying you're promoting harassment at these streamers, which Spooks has confirmed, so has his mods. I think I was actually in one of Spook's chats when one of his active chatters was harassing someone that he had a video of, and they got banned live on stream. I think I was in that. Like, he bans people that go and does this harassment. He never advocates for it, and if he ever finds out it happens, he does take proper action. Like, there was one person, like, Spooks actually noticed the comment first because I took a screenshot because someone who was trying to defend me put the name of the streamer in their comment.
Oh, yeah,
so
that's
I
not good.
Screenshot, sent it to Spooks, and said, listen, like, I know you get a lot of comments, and you can't monitor every single comment every single day, but here's the comment. They mentioned the name. If you want to just delete that, because I know you don't like the names being mentioned. He went in, he deleted that comment, and then he replied to the person because they were trying to claim out of context. He asked what context, and they kept dodging the question.
That's good. He sticks to his principles.
He is a man of his word. He does stick to his principles. He makes sure that any comment that has their name, unless they comment themselves, if they dox themselves, that's on them. But anyone who says the name outside of that context of, if I commented saying, oh, this is of me, he deletes those. Which I did see that in action with this video. and
That's
he does
awesome.
ban people that go and harass them, which is why I also asked for proof, because as soon as they showed me the proof, I would have sent that right over to Spook so that he could ban them too.
Okay. So my next thing I feel like we should talk about is, I think our video's been about hour and 4 minutes. I feel like that's a pretty good length. Or would you like to continue? Or I mean, we could talk about our topics, or we could stay on this one.
I mean, this is your video. You lead the show.
Hmm. I feel like it'd be a pretty good stopping point.
Right.
Oh, so would you like, do you like any shout out for your channels and everything?
Yeah, so I have 2 YouTube channels. One is based around more Pokemon content, so if I get a follower from this on Pokemon content, I will be shocked. But that is my traditional name of DoGoodhvz, because I am variety. My Dead by Daylight channel is DBD.
Mhm.
And my Twitch channel, which is variety but has been more Dead by Daylight content recently, is DoGoodhvz.
Okay, makes sense. And for people who don't know who I am but are stumbling upon my video, I'm Hippie Hero TTV. I stream on Twitch and I also am on YouTube. And I'll say that it will be cut.
Awesome.